The worst prison is the fear of what people think. Every struggle we face, every ounce of unhappiness, stems from a single, self-imposed chain: our obsession with how others perceive us. We twist ourselves into shapes we were never meant to hold, all for the fleeting illusion of approval. But what if true freedom lies not in being loved, but in the courage to be disliked? This is the radical premise of The Courage to be Disliked, co-written by Japanese philosopher and psychologist Ichiro Kashimi and author Fumitake Koga. The book draws from the wisdom of psychologist Alfred Adler, who argued that our suffering is not dictated by our past or our circumstances, but by the meaning we assign to them. According to Adlerian psychology, it is not trauma that shapes us, but the way we choose to interpret and respond to our experiences. Kishimi and Koga take this idea further, challenging the deeply ingrained belief that our worth is tied to the approval of others. As the great Persian philosopher Al-Ghazali once said, "Most people are dead, their souls buried in the opinions of others." And isn't this the truth? We live half-lives, stifled by invisible judgments, trading authenticity for acceptance. Social psychologist Solomon Asch conducted a series of experiments in the 1950s demonstrating how people conform to group pressure, even when they know the group is wrong. This phenomenon, known as social conformity, reveals just how powerful the fear of disapproval can be. We shape our behavior, opinions, and even our aspirations around what will gain us approval, often at the expense of our true selves. Yet the pursuit of approval is a never-ending cycle. The more we seek validation, the more dependent we become on external praise. Psychologist Carl Rogers, a pioneer of humanistic psychology, emphasized that true self-acceptance comes from unconditional positive regard, the ability to value oneself without relying on the approval of others. When we allow external opinions to dictate our worth, we give up control over our own happiness. The result? A life filled with anxiety, self-doubt, and a persistent fear of rejection. The Courage to be Disliked presents a bold alternative, breaking free from the chains of external validation. According to Adlerian psychology, all problems are interpersonal problems. Our suffering arises from the mistaken belief that we must please everyone and avoid conflict at all costs. But true freedom comes from recognizing that we are not responsible for other people's opinions. The authors introduce the concept of separation of tasks, which suggests that we should focus only on what is within our control, our own actions and thoughts, rather than worrying about how others react. Consider the case of public speaking anxiety. Studies have shown that glossophobia, or the fear of public speaking, affects approximately 77% of people. Why is this fear so widespread? Because speaking in front of others makes us vulnerable to judgment. We fear stumbling over words, being perceived as unintelligent or failing to impress. But what if we let go of that fear? What if we embrace the reality that some people may dislike our speech no matter how well we deliver it? By accepting this truth, we reclaim our power and shift our focus from seeking approval to expressing our authentic thoughts. This mindset shift is evident in many of history's great thinkers and leaders. Socrates was sentenced to death for questioning societal norms. Galileo was ridiculed for challenging the geocentric model of the universe. Vincent van Gogh created over 2,000 works of art, but only sold a single painting in his lifetime. Were these individuals failures? Or were they simply ahead of their time, unafraid to be disliked in pursuit of their truth? Their legacies remind us that societal approval is fleeting, but authenticity endures. Psychologist Abraham Maslow, known for his hierarchy of needs, argued that self-actualization, the highest level of human fulfillment, requires us to transcend social approval and pursue our unique potential. Those who reach self-actualization are often misunderstood because they do not conform to societal expectations. They embrace individuality over conformity, leading to a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. This lesson is particularly relevant in the age of social media. Platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok have amplified our need for validation. Studies show that the brain's reward system releases dopamine when we receive likes, shares, or positive comments. This creates an addictive loop, making us crave approval more than ever. The result? We curate our lives to appear perfect, suppressing our true selves for digital acceptance. But this digital approval is as fragile as it is fleeting. The moment a post doesn't perform well, self-doubt creeps in, reinforcing the cycle of external validation. Breaking free from this cycle requires a radical shift in perspective. The courage to be disliked urges readers to recognize that the opinions of others are not a reflection of their worth. We cannot control how people perceive us, nor should we try. Instead, we must focus on living in alignment with our values, embracing the discomfort that comes with being disliked. True happiness lies in authenticity, not approval. This philosophy is reflected in the words of Eleanor Roosevelt. Do what you feel in your heart to be right, for you'll be criticized anyway. No matter what path we choose, there will always be critics. Some will disapprove out of envy, others out of misunderstanding, and some simply because their perspectives differ. But none of this should dictate how we live our lives. Consider the Japanese concept of ikigai, which translates to reason for being. It is the intersection of what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. When people pursue their ikigai, they find meaning and fulfillment regardless of external validation. This principle aligns with Adlerian psychology, which emphasizes that happiness is found in contribution and self-acceptance, not in people-pleasing. But embracing this philosophy is not easy. It requires a conscious effort to detach from social conditioning. It requires us to question the beliefs we've inherited about success, likability, and self-worth. It demands that we confront our fears and recognize that rejection is not a measure of failure, but a sign that we are standing firm in our truth. A study by psychologist Mark Leary on self-presentational concerns found that people who are overly concerned with managing their image experience higher levels of stress and anxiety. Conversely, those who are less preoccupied with others' opinions tend to be more resilient and emotionally stable. This research reinforces the core message of the courage to be disliked. Liberation comes when we stop living for others and start living for ourselves. The worst prison is the fear of what people think. It traps us in a cycle of self-doubt, forcing us to measure our worth through the eyes of others. But the key to freedom lies in a simple truth. We are not here to be liked by everyone. We are here to live authentically, to pursue our purpose, and to embrace the discomfort that comes with breaking societal expectations. The moment we stop seeking approval, we gain something far greater: self-acceptance, inner peace, and the courage to live life on our own terms.